Hey, we all know windows can be a challenge. So there I am. It's my Sunday session. I'm trying to enjoy it, but I'm in the passenger seat, Nick. And I got one of those little lights, right? That you put in, you screw in up at the top, opens out with a big fan. Best way. I've sprayed my glass cleaner. I've wiped. I'm sitting there looking. You've been there. We've all been there, right? Do I see something? Do I not see something? Well, and I sit back and I go, well, if I did, what caused it? Because this is something you and I think about. What caused it? We've talked when we did the slick discussion. We talked about the triangle, right? The pyramid that goes into making slick. We think glass cleaner, and we think of the missing, right? A streaky glass cleaner or missing something on the windshield. I think, did I do it? Was that me? Right? Because we've all done it, right? We've all messed up. Or was it the glass cleaner? Was it the towel? There's the three. There's the three. For me, it's usually me, right? What about you? What do you think it is in your pyramid? Like, you just hit everyone all the time, or you always nail it?
No,
What's your take on glass?
I don't think anybody does. I mean, mine's probably like everyone else's, just kind of not paying attention. Trying to
Me,
get something
yeah.
done quick.
Messing
I mean, it's easy to do, but a lot of people, unfortunately, want to look. I mean, if you can't use our glass cleaner, you're gonna struggle with glass. I mean, our glass cleaner is one of those ones you really shouldn't struggle with glass. But there also has to be something said here. You constantly have manufacturers changing the way they manufacture glass or have their glass manufactured. You got a lot of things going on in that part of the industry that we never talk about, right? I mean, it's completely boring, but you get a new Lexus, you get a new Range Rover, you get a new, go down the list of vehicles that everybody's buying, and you're going to get a different type of glass in some cases from vehicle to vehicle, and it might take a little bit of understanding of, hey, this one likes a little less product, this likes a little more product, that kind of thing. And I noticed this on older glass because I have a 2008 M3, I now have a 2003 LX from Lexus. Those glass, you can use as much product as you want. I mean, it's never going to be too much. You use too much product on modern glass, and you could really fight it, right? So that's where everybody's got to kind of start understanding that glass is something you got to learn as well.
The new variable, huh? So it's no more triangle.
It's just,
It's
I
now.
mean, it just is what it is. I mean, if you've cleaned enough glass, you realize if I use the same exact thing across, you'll just have some glass that pops up and you go, this is acting strange. I did the exact same thing I always have done with other cars.
Replace the Jeep's windshield. I wonder OEM glass versus aftermarket glass, which is easier to clean. I really was questioning that too because once I replaced the glass, I kind of thought, huh, this cleans different. Like, It
also
right?
doesn't
Like, we
have a
don't
lot of
think about
wear.
glass.
I mean, look, the wear on that windshield that before you replaced it was much different. When's the last time you ran over it with a polisher? That may be something to do on the new glass to kind of help yourself out. Just run a quick polish over there and get any manufacturing defects and little things out of there. And again, you can only take so many variables out, right? Your towel, glass cleaner, that kind of thing. Some of it's just, I mean, look, I mean, my 2003 Lexus and my 2021, 2022 Lexus that my family drives, those glasses are very different. I mean, you can see it almost immediately. Like I just cleaned up my we're doing some videos here for a product we're going to release next week, and I cleaned the glass up on this one on the 2003 in 5 seconds. Got to be a little bit more cautious on the 2022. Got to be real cautious. I mean, you got to pay attention to what you're doing. And, I mean, the other thing is, do you have tint on your windows? I mean, that can affect it. So, I mean, again, we're not trying to make it like it's rocket science, but there's a lot of people that don't just slow down and understand all the different things that could go into it at this point.
Well, I was sitting back. I was slowing down because I was trying to figure out where I missed or what I did. And then I hear the door open and I'm in my garage and I hear hey, what do I use on the mats? Because, wasn't watching your videos. They are great videos, though. People want to know how to clean up floor mats. great. Go over to Nick, watch our YouTube videos. These were the rubber mats because it's springtime, right? Because it's pretty nasty out for some of us. I I was able to get her to bring them home. We got the rubber floor mats in a couple of her vehicles. It's like, how do we get them cleaned up? Right? You got rubber floor mats. People question all the time: degreaser? Do you put APC? What do you use to clean up rubber floor mats?
In our world, TRX, right? I wouldn't tell people most harsh degreasers, and I've never been one on rubber floor mats to really like the APC experience, right? For whatever reason, if you use our TRX product, I mean, you can dilute it 4 and 5 to 1. I mean, if they're not bad at all, hell, you could probably get away with 10 to 1. You know, you don't have to go super aggressive because at the end of the day, it's all about the scrubbing anyway. You just want a little bit of cleaner on there. You want to get a scrub brush and you just want to do it, pressure wash them off, call it a day. I mean, if you got a hose, use a hose. I mean, I know some of you at your house and you're just getting your start. I've said this before. I think APC has kind of been one of those products that has been really pushed for everything all the time from a lot of different angles. It was the way kind of you and I were brought up in the business as APC, APC, APC. If you're using APC on floor mats, I don't think there's an issue with it, but TRX makes such quick work. Most of you, are going to clean the rubber on your tires and maybe even your wheels. With TRX, just take what's ever left in the bottle. That's kind of what I do. Is just like I just get it after I get done with my wheels, my tires. I just go ahead and do the mats real quick, and then I'm done. I don't get out another product.
So I didn't have TRX. Right, we're traditionally always going to use Eco One or some other stuff that you and I are working on behind the scenes there in my garage, and so I didn't have it. So I recommended, and this is what we used, was Eco One. And to your point, it was about the brush, right? If you get enough water, get some Eco One out there. You've got different ways of cleaning some floor mats. Versus going under the cabinet and grabbing toilet bowl cleaner or some random stuff,
Oh, yeah.
That you hear people do. They're like, oh man, look at this stain I have on my mat. I don't know what happened. Well, you grabbed the wrong stuff under the cabinet, right? Don't do that. If you're in a pinch, at least get some Eco One that's, or what,
And we have to say this, like, don't fry them out in the sun. I mean, we got to kind of say that. Don't fry them out in the sun. Get them wet first, then throw your cleaner on there, give you a little bit more suds to clean with. Even with Eco One, if you just rinsed them down, then sprayed Eco One, then used your brush, just stay out of the hot sun. Kind of and if you have to do it in the sun, let's go ahead and rinse them down first, maybe cool them off a little bit. That way you don't have any issues. But I mean, floor mats is one of those things, like you just kind of proved it, that you go, hey man, this is what I had, and this is what I had to do. You can still get a finish, but for me, if I got TRX, I just got done doing my tires, I'm gonna go ahead and spray them.
Of course. So what about? I mean, Revive, definitely. You should all have Revive in your garage. They're easy one to grab. Impress, that's gonna be per basis, right?
I'm a little bit. We just got an email about that, and someone was asking me, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I think when you're talking about rubber floor mats, you need to be very, very cautious of just using pure cleaners. You and I have seen some horror stories. Okay.
Well, I was going to say, you don't ever do it. Like go back in the day and just throw down a bunch of dressing on your floor mats.
No,
I
do not do that.
No,
I don't.
Just to relive the good old times.
Little blue magic right on your floor mats and right on your pedals, right on your seats. Just get slipping and slow. You be in a wreck by 13 minutes from leaving your house. I mean, I would say this. I probably use Revive the most when I don't feel they're dirty enough to pull out. To pull them out of the car. If I just run a quick vacuum and I go, hey, I've gotten to this thing pretty regularly, I just throw some Revive down and go ahead and take a towel and wipe everything down. I mean, that, again, we were talking about hammered floor mats, TRX. If I just got to give it a vacuum and a wipe down in the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and just use Revive.
All right, so springtime, definitely, we've talked, we're all moving there, excited about it. Two things happen. One, a lot of trade-ins. Good time for trade-ins. Great time to go do trade-ins. Saw an interesting trade-in. Frontline at the local Dodge store right around the corner. Frontline Cybertruck.
Oh, yeah. You can get those for a bag of oranges and like $50.
Well, but yeah, so interesting trade at the Dodge store, Cybertruck, right? It's
Yep.
just interesting. Who won on that one? I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to see what was
You
paid.
know, the other thing that's known for definitely around here is body shop business booms because of the rain. I got plenty of buddies that have body shops, been around body shops. Dale and other people inside of our group that have been around body shops. We all know that this is a big time for body shops. So I have one of my physical therapists asked me the other day while I was there. He wanted to know what to look for because he just got his car out of Mazda, the body shop for 2 months.
Whoa.
Let's go ahead and start there. We feel you, right?
Whoa.
We feel you.
That's a bit
2
strange.
months. 2 months. But wanted to know, what does he do once he gets the car? Because he was going to go pick it up. Well, first of all, he knew that, like, listen, he knows it wasn't really going to be detailed,
Yep.
right? So he knew that. But what did he need to clean, right? It was sort of one of his first
My
questions.
guess is being there
What do I
2
need to
months, the whole thing.
What do I need to do when I get a car back from a body shop?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, if you aren't into, taking care of your own stuff, you need to go to a detailer, a reputable person, have them go through the vehicle, see if everything's all right. You're probably looking at, if you do care about your vehicle, some light paint correction to fix. I got to imagine that thing being there 2 months, there's a hell of a lot of buffer trails all over that thing. If not, I'd say the number one thing you get out of a body shop is you almost always have to decontaminate the paint. Very rarely do you get stuff back from the body shop and go, look at this crunchy stuff on the roof. I mean, to me, it's you got to go through the whole car usually. I mean, and I know there's some good body shop guys that listen to us, but they even know what we're saying. Come on, man. You guys are not detail oriented. You're putting the car back together like a Lego set, and you're churning and burning, trying to get the stuff. And it doesn't sound like wherever he went was churning and burning very quickly, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I think you go through the whole vehicle. I mean, you're probably looking at, engine detail, all the cracks and crevices that you and I know about, your gas area, all your door jams. You're just going to have stuff everywhere. And it's going to, for the guys that do it themselves, you're going to have to really think through this in a real way and probably have some weekend projects of, do this weekend, do that the next weekend, not try to get so overwhelmed, or you got to go to a professional.
It's probably just as easy, especially if you've spent the time and energy at a body shop letting the pros do that part. Go ahead and let a professional take care of
And
the
look,
cleaning
there,
part. Like, just
again,
get the car back.
we have some great DIYers in our that are coming into our brand. And I would say this, the worst thing you can do is try to tackle it in a weekend, because what you're going to do is you're going to just beat yourself up. You're going to miss a lot of stuff. We always are going to say, hey, if you don't know what you're doing, just go to the professional. If you're one of those guys and gals that like to do it themselves, then you got to trust me when I say this. It's like eating an elephant. Just fix one part, then fix the next part, then fix the next. It could be a whole month project if you got the wrong body shop. Let me be clear. It'd be 3 or 4 weekends of you trying to get this thing back right.
So, of course, we talked about everybody, most of all of us know about stuff in cracks and the dust and that type of thing. But he was telling me that, while he was walking around the vehicle, he had noticed some stuff on there they hadn't noticed before. Right? You just get to that moment and you go, cool. What'd you notice? Right? Like,
Yep.
we all know right? Like, now suddenly you're noticing things like, come on, my guy. Like, but
Yeah.
okay, what did you notice? Well, it turns out he noticed what he thought was road tar. And I go, okay, cool. So maybe now you're noticing to now look at your vehicle and see when things shouldn't be there. Okay, I'm with you, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're back on my team. Cool, right? So I go out there with him, and it turns out it wasn't road tar. But let's say we get some road tar. First of all, what is road tar? What does it look like? And then
Yeah.
what's your recommendation for getting it off?
You and I have probably have the same opinion as a lot of guys that have been taking tar off. I go right to a solvent. I mean, the old in the metal gallon, whatever you want to use, paint thinner or lacquer thinner, an actual tar remover that you can buy locally at a paint store or something like that. That's how I've dealt with it. I mean, we're gonna look at having these types of things into our lineup. I do think there are more eco-friendly ways that guys like it, but I see tar, man. I want it off. Like I'm not gonna sit there and like work myself to death. It's like let's get it off.
People hear solvent and they get a little scared. And I tell them, I say, listen, you do got to care about your plastics, of
Yep.
course, right? We are. So I did start talking to them. It's mostly about your application, your process, right? This is where we say, like, listen, whatever you choose to go after and use to get it, it really is going to come down to a lot of the way you go at it. Now, I was recently at a dermatology appointment. Boy, dermatology that's getting interesting. Sitting in the waiting room and the amount of slideshows and
Oh
videos that they
yeah.
start showing you. uh, we've all had, well, those of us that have had pimples, we've all had that urge.
Yep.
We love to squeeze, we love to pick, we love to pry. So that was my illustration to him. Hey, don't be that guy.
Yep.
Don't go into road tar starting to pick at it, starting to like push on it too hard, starting to try and do too much. You need to more massage it,
Well,
more
just let it
more
soak.
dab it,
Yeah,
more
just let it
more work
soak.
with it.
Yeah, let
Yeah.
let let it take your towel, get some of the solvent on there, take it and put it on there for a second, get it covered in that solvent. It'll start to break it down and you can just wipe it right off the surface. If you can't, you start to get into more serious things. Uh, have I been guilty in my life when there was no plastics around and maybe putting a lot on the surface for some real bad, almost insurance claim type, tar removal? Sure. For the average tar removal, man, just look at it and go, it's going to take some time. I'm going to get the solvent soaking on there. Again, let's say this out loud. Don't do this on a hot panel. Get it in your garage, get it in, get it into shade, whatever. But yeah, tar is one of those things that it's all a chemical reaction. You're not going to pick it off. It's all going to be about the chemical, breaking that free and being able to wipe it off.
Now he had, like I said, he didn't have road tar. He had something else, and the way I could tell the difference is the way it's splattered. Okay, there's another thing that gets stuck to the sides of vehicles. Well, a lot of us love to chew it, then we spit it out
Oh,
the
he got the
window.
long gum strands. Oh yeah, that's miserable.
So
That's
that's
one of
how
those
you know,
ones
right?
people never talk about. It's miserable.
And you see, like, you can see kind of like a main part, but the strain, like, that's how you know it's gum, is you see that then tail
Yeah.
and you get this string that goes down. Go, hey man, some of us might say it's even easier than road tar. I don't
Sure.
know.
I mean,
Well,
yeah, it's just it can end up in places that tar doesn't normally end up. I mean, I've had gum go down the side of a vehicle on the bottom and somehow end up on the back hatch of an SUV. And you're like, how did it get back here? I mean, that's pretty rare for road tar, right? Usually road tar is sort of along the bottom, maybe a little bit up on the door. You're not finding all over the back hatch of a large SUV usually, right? It's pretty isolated. But again, if it's tough, if it's something you have to deal with, a solvent will help you there too. Okay, you don't have to get crazy. I tell you what, if you catch it, good thing about gum, good thing about tar, if you catch it quick enough and you got a good pressure washer, sometimes the pressure washer will take care of a lot of it. You know, now if it's on there, and you have let it go all winter long, yeah, you're gonna battle a little bit. But tar, things that attack the bottom of your car that's picked up off the road. We hear a lot about road film. We talk about it as well. Remember, all that stuff's really easily removed if you're removing it regularly or when something bad happens. And a lot of times we're talking to people that say, I've left this on for 6 months as a professional. I mean, that's who you get. You don't get the guy. Now, you got good customers. They're like, there's something on my car. I need to get it off. Those are the dream customers. But let's all be fair. That's not a huge percentage of car owners.
Yeah, and this is a proponent of why we would say you don't try and max out protection. You go with regular protection, continuing to apply something to your vehicle at all times, so that when you do run over some jackass's bubble gum that he spit out, you don't have to fight with it, right? Like, because the answer to him and the answer to the other questions that we'll get to is it is about time, right? Like, how long was it on there?
And what's
This is
your
a
base
question
level of protection? I mean, if you have Sparta, that stuff's going to come off fairly easy. A tray, it's going to come off easy. If you got a fresh coat of dose, it's going to come off easy, right? If you just stacked your vehicle, it's going to come off easier, right? I mean, these are the things that we really got to say is these are the times to advocate for a coating, right? I mean, these are the times to advocate for protection, constantly being on your car, constantly seeing what's going on with your car. I mean, this stuff largely becomes very easy to deal with.
Yeah. So when I got asked the question this weekend, I had a couple buddies ask me some different, really interesting questions. A lot of people cleaning cars
Well,
this
hey,
weekend.
weather's breaking, man. People are,
Yeah. Wanted to know stack on wheels, what the durability was. It's like, I don't know, my guy.
yeah,
I
it's
don't
not
know how
a,
many sprays you put. I don't.
yeah, it's
I don't
not.
know how long. Like, I don't.
And again, here's the good thing: if you use stack, and in your head, you go, okay, man, I'm going to let this get what it gets, and then when I see it starting to break down, I'm just going to reapply. Then there's nothing wrong with stack. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's there's certain things, and I've said this about wheel coatings. We've been testing wheel coatings behind the scenes. I, I'm one of these guys that I go, look, man, I've been sent every wheel coating in the world, and I got to tell you, they're all for regularly driven vehicles. It's very tough to get it to last if you're really driving the vehicle. Now, my BMW, I can get a wheel coating to last forever. I mean, that thing hardly gets driven. But if you're really driving a vehicle, you just need to keep your eye on it and go, okay, time to reapply. I mean, that's really, it's sort of like glass coating to me. I'm not sitting here worried about durability of glass coating. It's so easy to do. I see it starting to break down. It's like, I can't just go ahead and wipe it on again. Let's go. I think there are certain products like that for me.
So I had that buddy working with stack on wheels. Another buddy with Uno got a high spot on satin paint. Wanted to know how to remove a high spot on satin paint.
So we just had, and I get this question quite a bit. We had a question on some PPF and tray, and something started acting a little weird. It sounds like that's what happened to this guy as well. Number one, you need to catch it. You need to go, okay, I got a problem, and then what you need to do, and it usually can work because of the high solvents of Uno, is you need to go right back over that spot. But when I say lay on a ton of it, you're laying on a ton of it to get the solvent to reactivate the coating that's high spotted. So it's not, when everybody hears me say this, and maybe I've done a bad job of explaining it at times, when I tell you to go over a high spot, I mean, you better drench your pad because you're actually trying to get the solvents to reactivate coating that's already kind of set up. And for most people with Uno, they can get it to reactivate. That would be my best case scenario on matte because you can't polish it, right? I mean, so you got to get it to reactivate.
And what if it's been sitting there for a couple days? Right?
Well,
What
there
if
you
we come
go.
back and we go, oh gosh,
Yeah, I mean, you could have a problem. I mean,
yeah, you could
you
have
could
a
have a.
problem.
That's one of those ones you go, I'm just going to let this wear away, right? Don't get crazy. Don't pull out a polisher like we've seen some people on the internet do. Don't go grab paint thinner. You know what I mean? Like, this is the time you just go, I kind of messed up. It's all good. You're just going to have to kind of, that's the thing about matte paint. You're just going to have to go, I messed up. But here's a good thing about a high spot. The more you wash it, the more you drive it, the high spot's going to wear down because the coating's going to wear down. It's going to go away. Now, if you have regular paint, we're telling anybody, just grab a little polish and let's get that off there. Make sure when you're listening to this conversation, you understand that we're talking about matte paint specifically.
Yeah, because a lot of people want to know, can you ceramic coat matte paint? Can
Yes.
you ceramic coat PPF, right?
Yes.
We could ask that question. You hear it all the time. And the answer is yes. You do have to make sure, you don't leave a high. That's the problem, right? That
Yep.
is the big issue. So
Hey, you got to pay
you do
attention.
have to make sure you don't leave it, because you can run a risk.
Even with
Now,
something
did
like
you damage it?
yeah,
You didn't damage, though. To your point,
yeah,
right? Like, it hasn't been damaged. Is it visually not as
yeah,
amazing
clean.
as you would want?
Sure.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
not damaged.
I
That's
mean,
the good
that's what we
part.
kind of say to people is, I don't know how many matte cars this guy has coated. Probably not many, maybe his first. That sometimes you're going to do these things and you're going to make a mistake. It's about minimizing the screw up, trying to fix the mistake. Because look, every single one of us that have detailed a lot of cars go, I had this one time where I went to try to fix it and I made it worse. Right? I mean, that's why we've all burnt an edge. That's why we've all sanded too much off a panel and go, oh, this is headed to the body shop. Like, we've all been there. And there's just times that you go, I kind of got to live with it. But now I've learned, and I would tell anybody this, if you've never coated a bunch of matte wrap, matte paint, matte PPF, I don't care if you're using Uno, I don't care if you're using Sparta, Tray, doesn't matter. Shrink the size you're working and try to start yourself like behind the back tire and make sure you can see what you need to see to do the process the rest of the car. When you're using matte and you don't have any experience, go to that rear passenger behind the wheel and kind of get your process down, do kind of like a small area and go, okay, I see what's going on here. What do we all do? We all go right to the hood. And you lay a big square and you go, what am I look? It's like when you're unfamiliar with matte paint, PPF, vinyl wrap, whatever, just go behind that passenger wheel and make sure you understand how everything's going to react.
Good call. I got another buddy that he listen. You ever reach out to somebody, they don't ever get back to you. You just want to kind of stay in touch every once in a while.
Oh
It's not
yeah,
like not like your best friend. Ain't like it's but just somebody you know. And every once in a while, you want to say hi. Well, he's kind of ignored me, and he sent me a text the other day because now he has a problem. Right? He's got a problem because he put this spray on, and somebody had recommended to him, and it's a popular spray out there. All good, doesn't really matter, but he was told by this buddy of his that you can never remove this spray. It has to be sanded off.
damn.
And I just go, hey man, how long you been detailing? About as long as you and I, right? Like, makes sense to you? Like, no, man, that's what I thought. That's what I said. Well, here was the craziest part of the conversation, right? Like, here's the craziest part. When he explained why he had gotten back to me, oh man, been busy.
Damn.
Oh, you have
No phones at busy, huh?
been busy, but I guess now he was unbusy
Yeah.
trying to figure out if he should sand off this water-based spray.
Yep.
Like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? My
Yeah.
God. Like,
Yeah. No.
I'm suddenly busy. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah. No.
Crazy.
It's. I think one thing that you and I can probably share, has really become sort of an ethos of a lot of people. It seems like over the last 4 to 6 years, got really big during COVID. Is everybody loves to tell you how busy they are. I mean, we deal with, a lot of people don't know this, man. We deal with a lot of chemical suppliers and different people that are part of helping our business run in some way, shape, or form. Could be, I mean, just to make HQ run, we probably have 25 to 45 vendors at any one time that are responsible for helping us bring a product in, bring a raw in, bring this in, bring that in, boxes, this, that. I mean, you know what it is, Marty. It's a lot of people and a lot of companies. And one of the things that I've learned probably a little later than I should have is just how silly you sound telling other busy people that you're busy, and how it can be kind of disqualifying as people get higher in business when they hear from you that you're busy and that's why you didn't do something. It's never a viable excuse. Everybody thinks it's everybody thinks it's a great excuse. You and I know it's not a viable excuse. Very early on in my business, I was unorganized. I was running a mile a minute. I thought I was busy. Fact is, I wasn't busy. I was an idiot who didn't know how to run his business, and that's okay. I mean, I had to go through those growing pains. But again, you want the red flag somebody that you don't know what you're doing is tell them that you're busy.
All right. So I think some people that are listening are probably all like, wait, hold on. Like, hold on
Sure.
here a second.
And by the way, I just told you that I've said it before. I mean,
Well, and I used to too, right? Like, because that's why I put myself in the shoe too. And I was like, you know what? I know there was times that I missed phone calls, or I missed getting back to somebody, or I was late to something, and you could actually define it out the way you did. Like, I was an idiot. I wasn't punctual. In business, punctuality is must, right?
especially the higher level people you start dealing with, their time is, again, the more money somebody makes, just extrapolate that out of that's what their hour is worth. That's what 15 minutes is worth to them. So you talking to a millionaire, hey, their hour is pretty valuable, right? It's pretty damn valuable. So you have this opportunity, whatever business opportunity it may be, you fumble it. And then when you finally talk to the person, you go, oh, I'm sorry, man, I was busy. So's that person. But he didn't use or she didn't use that excuse. And so now they're hearing you use that excuse instead of just saying, hey, man, messed up. It's on me. I screwed up. But here's a solution to the problem we were supposed to meet about. I'm on top of it. I apologize. And it changes the whole way somebody's looking at you. But if you tell them you're busy, they go, red flag. So it's all subconscious, right? I mean, we do it now. Somebody tells you and I were they're busy. They were busy. That's why this. That's why that. You just kind of like laugh and go, "Oh, okay. No one else is busy. You're the only one that's busy, huh?"
I think people don't think about it, right? Like, they don't think they mean to say like, I was busy, like, hey, because like, so in this text I got from somebody, and specifically around this, not getting back to me, the words that he said, right? So I get it. I understand. Like, I understand when you've got a lot going on.
Yep.
Let's say that. So he responded back that he wasn't trying to ignore me. Like, I just went, that's an interesting thing that he said. Like, I wasn't trying to ignore you. I appreciate you saying that you weren't trying to, but that is what you did.
Yeah.
Like you ignored me.
Yeah.
Why does that mean anything? Why do we even go to this moment of having part of an episode? It's because it had, like you said, it's become almost a consequent of the pandemic, creating its own pandemic of being busy.
Yeah.
So busy that you can't return a phone call, so busy that you can't fill in the blank, and you go, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I think
we've been too busy before.
Yeah,
it's not good to be too busy.
Well, and it's usually one of those things you look at people and you go, pretty quick way to burn a bridge. Pretty quick way. I mean, whether it's fair or not, or
you think it's because it means when you say I'm busy equals I'm not trustworthy?
No, I think when you tell somebody you're busy, the way the other person hears it, and maybe this isn't across the board, but I've had this discussion with you behind the scenes, other people behind the scenes, is they're saying they're busy and you're not busy. That's the way human nature, you take it like, hey, I was busy. And then you pick up the phone and you go, well, I wasn't busy. I mean, I don't have a lot going on. I don't have family. I don't have a company. I don't have multiple companies. I don't have multiple phone calls and meetings and videos to shoot and cars to pick up. And so this is kind of one of those things that it's just a good practice, learning from my mistakes. Just assume everybody's busy. So if everybody's busy, we don't have to talk about how busy you are, right? You don't have to talk about how busy I am. I don't have to talk about how busy you are. But then when you say you're busy and you get on the phone with somebody and they didn't solve the problem that you needed them to solve, now you have a whole different trustworthy conversation. You go, well, wait a minute. Now we've tried to get a project handled. It's 2 days later. Now you're telling me you were too busy to talk over the last 2 days, or to email the last 2 days, or now the project's delayed 48 hours. And then when you did finally get back to me, you don't have an answer. Now you do run into some professionalism problems.
All right, we'll unpack that a little bit so people understand. I think that could be so. Instead of like specifically just saying detailers and people like that we talk to, that bit
Yeah, no, it's everybody.
you mentioned earlier, like vendors. I think we could all, any of us could call and speak with any different type of company, and somebody didn't get back, somebody didn't perform, somebody didn't do something. The number one excuse is always, I was busy. I was busy.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's and it just the coolest thing about being in business long enough, or longer than most people get to be in business. Let's be clear, most people don't make it 5 years in business. I'm in my 15th year. You're I think even a little bit more than that, working for yourself and building businesses. That I would say this. I know that every day we're human. We all make mistakes. We all wish we'd have done something. The one thing that you can't do is call into question your professionalism. And hey, man, it's going to take you time to get back to people at times. It's not going to always be right away. How you speak out of the gate when you finally return that phone call or return that email is a lot more important than I think I ever thought. Honestly, when I started my business, and that a lot of guys don't think about now, which is when you act as if your time is more valuable by you saying you were busy, you're saying your time was more valuable than that other person's. And I think that can get you in a lot of trouble. And we see guys that have been in business, that you and I know in the detailing space, been in business 10 years. If you talk to them 10 years ago, they were too busy. If you talk to them now, they were too busy. The funniest thing is they've never had an employee. They're working on their own, there's nothing wrong with that. But you go, I mean, 10 years in, guy, you haven't figured out how to manage your day. That's what you're saying to people, because busy work is not busy. And that's where a lot of people in business, myself, yourself, you can talk to anybody, you can find times when you look back and you go, I didn't really do what I should have been doing. I did a lot of busy work, and that stuff didn't amount to anything. And it's a great conversation to have, because we're in the springtime. Guys are getting a lot more phone calls. Maybe you're out there calling your local detailer, whatever the case may be. This is when things kick up for a lot of people, a lot of shops, a lot of businesses, landscape businesses, pest control. I mean, everything. You hear somebody didn't get back to you and they say busy, think about how you respond now mentally, and you'll realize how bad of a thing it is to say.
so one of the things I know, as you came on board, one of the things you really worked with us internally on was I used to send so many text messages,
Yeah.
right? And it was all instant communication. How quickly can we get connected and have discussions and get back and forth, right? It created actually too busy, right?
Yeah.
And there's a part of when you go, you can say, if we can all go, hold on, I'm really busy, I'm really stressed, I don't. Okay, so how can we begin to chip away at things to make us less busy and more efficient, more
Yeah.
professional?
Like we
Email,
can,
you're definitely going to go right.
yeah,
Oh, I've changed. Everybody can all know I've changed on that,
we
and
can share
email has
internally.
definitely been
Like,
great for
look,
that.
not only do we use email more, we use a whole communication system that's centralized. So at any hour, if somebody has an idea on a certain project, because we have multiple team members now, they can go in and write something in that project, and then Marty can look at it when when he has time to look at it. I can look at it, because sometimes, you know, and this is the reason we did it. Like, let me explain to people. One of the greatest things is you can now work from anywhere if you set up the right systems, right? You can do a lot of things from anywhere. But the problem is when you have a lot of team members, you can't bother people at 11 o'clock at night, right? That's not good business. And by the way, that's easy to do. There's a lot of small businesses that struggle
Mhm,
with this. They text their
mhm,
employees and team
mhm,
members at all hours of the
mhm.
night, and they don't know why people are quitting, and they're not really bad people, but they're losing team members. So now we have, if you go into the back end of a system that we use, we may have 60 or 70 different projects, and they're all, itemized, in their own little communication hub. And then Marty can write something. If he can't sleep, he can go into that project at 11 o'clock at night and write some thoughts. Hey, has somebody followed up on this? I need to do this. Where are we at on this? And all of a sudden, it becomes everyone catches up when they can, and nobody's being bothered unless they have chosen to get into the system and see what's going on.
Yeah, and most of us don't think about creating systems, right? It's not fun. We do want processes. You and I talk about process all the time. Well, the I guess sister in a sense, the cousin of processes for cleaning your car is systems of operating, right?
Yep.
Operating your business, operating your life, operating your day. Great discussion as we love getting into this stuff. It's not always about detailing. It is about how to enjoy your car life, how to grow different things, and be a part of. Well, hey, go be a part of the HyperClean Specialist Group. It's what you should go do. It's a great group. There's a lot of people in there that share different things, different questions, and different ideas. So great discussion. We'll see everybody inside that HyperClean Specialist Group on Facebook.
All right. See you guys.